What's going on, everyone? My name is Dudo, and I'm the Goalie Gear Snob. And for those of you that may or may not know, I'm the Dallas Stars emergency backup goaltender, and I'm officially about to start my third season for the 2025-2026 season. For a while now, I've had a lot of people ask, what's in the bag? What do I take with me to a game? What gear do I prefer to wear? As you can see, I have a lot of gear behind me, and I'm always continuously testing and reviewing new gear. But now I'm going to pack my bag and show you all the gear I take with me, and maybe I'll tell you a few cool stories along the way about why I use it. So let's dive into it now. Before I pack the bag here, I'll just kindly ask that you guys to make sure you are subscribed to the channel and turn on those notifications so you're aware of every time I post new videos. It's going to be a packed 2025-2026 season. I got a lot of videos coming out over the next 7-8 months, so please make sure you do subscribe and turn on those notifications so you're aware of when I upload new videos. But now, let's dive into what I put in this bag. I did just want to preface that anything you've heard in the news recently about the new talk about emergency backup goalies and everything like that, those rules do not kick into effect until the 2026 through 2030 CBA. So right now, for me, it's business as usual. I was asked by the Stars to be the sole emergency backup for this upcoming season, so we'll be doing 41 home games with them. And I figured now would be a great time to show you guys and tell you what I bring with me to the games here. Starting out first, I have my bag. So this is one of the team bags I got from Scott Wedgwood. Thank you, Scott. Picked it up from him. So it is a very large goalie bag that could fit the leg pads inside of it. However, I still prefer to carry my leg pads separate. So I'm just going to show you guys how I pack everything in there. So let's dive into it now, starting with the helmet. So on the inside of my bag here, I do keep a few things I just kind of, tuck in the bottom. This is my shower slides. I wear these as soon as I get to the rink, kind of swap in and out of them so I can walk around the locker room, not trying to get some gross stuff on my feet or have some weird things pick up into my socks. So I always have these with me. So I'll tuck them in there. I do keep an extra skate towel with me. This is actually an Eagles rally towel, Go Birds. I am from Philadelphia. Picked this up when I was with my brother, but when I went back to go and visit him. But it's just a cool little thing I keep with me to be able to wipe my skates dry. So I keep that in the front of the bag as well. Next thing here is a Bauer helmet bag. So I always like to tuck my helmet on the inside. So again, I don't want the helmet just kind of floating around. So I actually have two helmets that I'm going to be bringing with me. The first one here is going to be my Savior Pro Plus. This is handmade by Adam Goggio at Savior Goaltending. I will link the video down below to my initial thoughts on it, but this is the first helmet I will be taking with me. It is a little stained on the inside from using some BCAAs and creatine while I play. That's kind of dripped down there, so a little ugly on the inside, but I'm really liking the feel and fit of this mask. I do have a Bauer 960 that is currently being wrapped by Matt Houck. It is a little bit, closer towards the start of the season, but I went back and forth on the helmet design for a while, so that's a little bit on me to not have it here to show off, but I will show it off at a later date. This is the helmet I will take with me instead. I am absolutely loving the fit and feel of this mask. Again, I'll link the video down below so you can check out Adam's work. Next item is the chest protector. So I was originally going to use a CCM Pro chest protector, the new 2024 version. However, it would not break into the style and kind of like the performance I was looking for. So I picked up another CCM 2018 version on Sideline Swap that someone sold to me. It was absolutely mangled. All the elastic was cut, shoulders were cut. So they sold it to me as a large. I think it's actually a fit 4. It doesn't fit anywhere where I'd like it to. So I just went back to something that I know and like. So this is a Bauer Hyperlight 1 NHL spec, a Drew Comesso Pro return. So I picked this up on Sideline Swap from Tom at Valhalla Sport. Again, I'll link his locker down below, but phenomenal guy in the Houston area, super quick shipping, always sell things for a great price. So I picked this one up from him. And as you can see, I did a few mods to it already. Like I removed the row of stomach blocks at the bottom, kind of kept this one here, but honestly, I'll probably end up removing it at some point. I did my usual mods where I kind of undo the shoulder floaters a little bit so I can get the suspenders back on the inside. Put a slightly different neck on there as I prefer just a solid look instead of the red that was there. And yeah, so I just did a few other small mods on the arms and sewed on an extra strap to the lower portion just so I can, get a little bit of a tighter fit. But this is a chest protector I'm going with. I absolutely love the fit and feel of the Hyperlights. Also, this is a large body and large arms, so I'm really liking the fit and feel of it, the performance. The NHL spec versions are so different from the retail. They're way more protective, way more form-fitting. So if you use the original Hyperlight and you liked it but didn't feel you had enough protection, definitely look for a Pro Return one, as they are super beefy. Definitely recommend it. But this is how I throw it in the bag. Put it over top of the helmet as well, and kind of put the inside of the helmet, if you will, across the back plate, neck area, and lay everything in. So now I'm going to talk about the skates, the pants, and the blocker. The next piece I have to put in here are my new two-piece true SVH custom skates. Huge shout out to the Stars Equipment staff who helped get me fitted for these and order these for me. And so I have used the one piece for probably almost 6 years or so ago, or 6 years now, but I just was not getting the durability I was looking for. They're a little bit heavier, and I really just want to try a different pitch to try to fix some things in my knee, which I'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, so I went back to the two-piece, and I've used them a handful of times right now, and they're phenomenal. It's everything I want in the skate. It has an 8mm heel lift, which is different from the one piece. I prefer the feel of the two piece where I kind of am raised a little bit more. I feel like I can still get a pretty solid push. I still have to dial in the sharpening, as I used to do 5/8 on everything. I just now have to back up to 3/4. I might actually try 7/8 on these. And I do still want to experiment with the with the 3D printed tongues I put on my one pieces. So I'm going to try those. But for right now, I have the mom and dad on the skates, as both of my parents have passed away. So this is my call out to have them with me on the ice. So I do put the skates kind of facing one another, how they would come out of the skate box. It's how I put them in the bag. And I just do that just to try to save some space. So I'm going to throw them in there, and I'm going to throw the blocker on top as well. So before I show off the blocker, I'm going to show off my pants. These are my Vaughn SLR3, SLR4 NHL spec pants. You can call them whatever you want. The SLR3 and SLR4 are pretty much identical models. So these are my Pro NHL spec version. I purposely ordered mine with an internal belt just so I could then rip it out. So again, I've already filmed the stuff on that, but I still have the little nylon loops left on the inside. These are my pants. They are a size large with a -1 on the length, which is actually shorter than a medium. A medium is a 3/4 length difference. So I did a large -1 on these, and these are phenomenal. They are tanks. They are super beefy, super protective. I get why, almost, over half the NHL goalies were using these last season. Really a big fan of them. So kind of reverse them so the legs go on top of the floaters, and I have a little bit more of an opening on the inside. So that's what they look like inside the bag. And then in the pants as well, I will throw in my neck guard. I switched over to using this instead of the CCM BNQ. Huge shout out to Bauer for letting me try this and getting one of these over to me. I'm a shorter guy at 5'10", so I eat up a lot of pucks in the chin area, the shoulder area, and I just want to overprotect it. And I'm really a big fan of this Pro version. Super comfortable, super protective. The BNQ does not, ride up into my neck or cause any issues. I'm just an absolute huge fan of this one. So I always toss it onto the inside of the pants so I don't lose it. So that's what I'm going to do now. Next, I'm actually going to talk about the glove and blocker. And before I do that, I did just want to say that I think this answer is going to surprise a lot of you in terms of what I have decided to use in the off season, what I'm going to start using moving forward through this season. I still do have my true L95 custom set on order. I also have a CCM eFlex 7 all out special printed set that will be coming in towards the holiday time as well. So I'm expecting to have that true set around Halloween. I hopefully have that CCM set by Thanksgiving. But for the time being, this is the set I'm going to be taking with me. I'm sure the entire time you've been thinking, yes, I've seen that Brian set sitting back there. What is it? Why do you have it? Why have you not talked about it before? And this is a special set that I got from Scott Wedgwood. I happened to sell a whole bunch of leftover gear for him recently, and this was a set I purchased from him, and I have absolutely loved this Brian set. It is awesome. A sample set he was supposed to move into, but this is the Optic 4 blocker before it had the Optic 4 branding on it, and as you can see, there are no graphics on it, just super clean. Really like that look. Still has his name on the inside there. So Scott became a really good friend of mine. We chat all the time, talk about gear, life, whatever. So really happy to get this. this and still rep his name on the inside of it. This is the Optic 4 blocker, senior palm with the A-top buckle. Don't necessarily love the A-top stuff, but it is what it is. I'm dealing with it. So this is what the blocker looks like. And I always put the blocker on top of the skates where it kind of rests just under the opening of the pants towards the front half of the bag. Next, I have the glove. This is, again, that matching glove. All white, no graphics. This is an original Eclipse glove with a double T, and it is pretty solid. Definitely still could be broken in a little bit more. I wish it still had the single T on it. And for a long time, I've really just kind of stood on the pedestal like, I don't like 580 gloves anymore. They just weren't doing well for me. But switching back into this, it doesn't quite feel like a normal 580. It doesn't quite feel like an Iconic or a 600. It's kind of right in between. So I've kind of gotten used to it, especially with the double T. It's just been working out really well for me. I've been able to stick handle pretty well with it, and it's been super comfortable. Senior palm on here, but I still have everything tied pretty tight to the hands. So it's actually getting some good closure on it. But this is what the glove looks like. So again, the glove I'm taking with me is a Brian's Eclipse, basically their 580 version, Scott Wedgwood bro return, if you will. But I always tuck the glove on the inside of the pants on top of the neck guard so it stays nice and protected on the inside. So next I want to talk about my knee pad setup, which is pretty specific, but like I was alluding to in the beginning of the video, I dealt with a few knee issues that were kind of irking me from, you know, like the holidays last year off and on, and it got pretty bad in the off season, so I had to take care of it. I just tried to find the perfect knee pad combination. So I tried a slew of knee pads, a whole bunch of different ones, the new Bauer Pro Plus, Vaughn VX ones, you name it, even some other Warrior versions, some CCM ones. Tried a whole bunch of stuff, but what I ended up on is this setup here. So I use these McDavid Hex knee sleeves that I slide over top of the knee and I wear underneath of the knee pad. I have these linked to my Amazon locker, which is down in my description, so if you want to pick them up through me, I'd really appreciate it. I purposely switched to the white ones so I can easily spot them in my bag, so that's what I do. So I have the white just switched out of the black, but I'll tuck them in on the inside here. Then the knee pads I actually switched to. This is a brand new pair, so I already had another one, but I want to get another set of them. This is the Warrior RX5 RTL knee pads. This is their super padded version, and I'm really liking these just because this bottom is so cushioned. It is so thick, like honestly almost an inch thick, maybe 7/8 of an inch, but it's so comfortable when you land on it. It really protects and cushions everything I had going on in my knee. So this is what I'm going with. And I did just want to call out that I do have it rigged up to my Vaughn VX1 Jock. Huge shout out to my buddy Trace that worked at the Monkey Store in Allen. He actually told me about this. I actually put the Vaughn garter belt through the inside of the belt of the Jock, just so that when I pull everything on, I don't have like all this extra stuff around my waist. So I actually will just slide the Jock up, put my legs through it, and then put my knee pads on. So that's how I keep it. So pretty interesting little mod. A huge shout out to Trace for reminding me of that. So I will just tuck the knee pads to the side of the blocker towards the front of the pants, and then the Jock ends up sitting right on top of the blocker. Now I also have a few specialty items that I always bring with me, and the first one would be all of my Gitch team issued laundry bag that I keep my socks in there, my actual like foot socks, all my Under Armour apparel, everything goes in here. Super convenient. They can throw everything in here, wash it, dry it. So very happy to have all of that. And I did just want to say I am still on my very first pair of Swiftwick socks. So if you'd like to pick those up, the link is also in the description of this video. They are incredible cut resistant socks that are pretty much standard for the NHL teams, and I absolutely love them. I've been using them for literally like one pair a few times a week for well over a year, and I have zero issues on them. They are incredible. Definitely recommend them. So I'll take all of this Gitch and I'll stuff it more towards the back half of the bag to try to sit on top of the neck and the helmet. Next, I have my Vaughn SLR padded shirt. I bring this with me in case I'm ever feeling like if I'm going to a practice or an early morning skate and there's a lot of, heavy shooters there. I usually bring this with me just so I have it. I really like the fit of this, and it's very protective across the shoulders, the arm, and towards the sternum. Has a little bit more on the side of the body as well, but I'm really liking this. So huge shout out to Dennis and Vaughn for getting this over to me, also for making sure I got that Jock as well. But I'm really liking this SLR padded shirt. This one is a 2X. I normally wear XL everything, but I wanted this to be a little bit baggier, a tiny bit looser. So I'm pretty happy with going with this one here. So I'll just tuck this on top of all the gitch there as well. I bring this with me everywhere I go. It has, let's see, extra sweatband. I have my soaps in here. I have some other cleaning stuff. I have the acetaminophen in here. And then I have my extra little kit in case I lose a screw or anything like that. I have scissors, skate stone, you name it. I have everything in here, and I definitely recommend that you get a small little bag like this and bring it with you. Goalies always have to be prepared for whatever they need. I definitely recommend that you bring this with you. And I throw this bag towards the front half of the bag here, just so everything sits in there, and I don't have to lose it. I don't have to reach for it too much. But now I'm going to talk about my leg pads, and then I'll grab my sticks as well, and then we're going to be finishing up. These are Scott Wedgwood Bro Return Iconic leg pads. These are 33+1, and really the big major difference that he did on the pad was he added a boot strap. I actually have switched out the buckle and the strap from leather to an elastic Bauer CRS bootstrap and a CCM QK5 buckle that I just sewed in. And then the other major modification is that on the inside of the iconic leg channel, he has an extra little shim on the inside here and a few different extra attachment points to test some different strapping. Currently, I'm actually doing my own kind of setup on here, where I actually have the CCM DRS, or the dynamic rotation strap, across the knee. Has the nylon right there, but I did it just to get some extra length out of this knee strap here. I ran this single 1-inch wide strap across the inside that sits above the calf, kind of behind the knee, kind of helps hike up the pad a tiny little bit. And then just this single strap that comes over and closes everything off, and that's what the strapping looks like on the back. Used Iconics before in a 33-1 and absolutely loved everything about them. I always kind of thought the size was a little bit too big for me, that I might have wanted to go to a 32, but now switching to the Vaughn pants, I have a lot more volume around the thighs. The 33 is fine for me. I also just love this knee block setup here. It's so comfy. It's been helping out my knees tremendously, where I'm still sealing to the ice. I don't feel like I'm dropping down on a rock or anything like that. Nice and cushy and soft without sacrificing the slides here. And also just no graphic. Like, I get what people are saying, like, Chris, you have so much cool, sick, unique gear, but like not having a graphic to me is like just as custom and unique. So for the pads, I always carry them over my shoulder, and I just use this little tiny Warrior strap that I have had. I clip it to the inside of this little nylon part that is on the inside of the pad. 99% sure it is actually used for carrying. That's the only purpose for it. But I just clip this little nylon strap together, and that is how I pick up the pads and throw it over my shoulder. But that's how I take everything to the rink. But now I'm going to grab my sticks and show off my sweet custom Flylight sticks. So these are the sticks I was using last year. These were Scott Wedgwood's Pro Returns. They were just left over from the season prior, and so the team was gracious enough to send a few my way. So that's what I've been using. This is the last one that I have. They actually were legit Hyperlight 2s in a 25-inch. I've actually sanded them down, and that's why I have a lot of grip tape right here. I wanted to switch to something a little bit more my style. So huge thanks to Bauer for getting me 2 of these that I will continue to use pretty much for games and game day practices. I'll try to use, some of the older sticks I have for, like practices and stuff I'm asked to go to. But this is my own custom Flylight stick. It actually was supposed to have different colors on it, but a small miscommunication between me and Bauer. I was actually supposed to have like white logos with black netting and then a black shaft with white accents. Totally got reversed. Kind of ironic that I'm the custom guy and then it gets messed up, but whatever. Still looks pretty good with the setup here. So these are Flylights. They are 24-inch with a rounded grip right here. It's not the full like complete roundedness. It just has the rounded edges. Kept the pentagrip on it so I can still get that grip that I like. P31 round toe just for style points here. And then I did the stock 28-inch shaft. Nothing extra special to it, did not cut it down at all, just did my little bit of grip here. And then of course the little name bar up here says emergency, and I got my own player code P31C curve and a 24-inch, so pretty cool that I got these. I use this twice in my own practices first just to kind of get used to it, and I really like the feel of vapor sticks. I've been using them for a few years now. As much as I like the Warriors, CCMs, other ones, the Flylights just kind of feel the best in my hand. Not quite the best durability because I always break my sticks in the shaft no matter what it is, but still really liking the feel of the stick, and it's great for making saves and shooting the puck. So that is what my stick looks like, and let's just appreciate this little oil slick color that they have over top of the black. I just think it looks phenomenal. So now that I have all of my gear here in front of me and I showed you how to pack my bag and I told you all about the gear I brought to the rink, I'd like you now to comment down below and let me know what questions you have about my gear. Why else am I using certain things? Do you have questions on, how you want to see me pack the bag, anything else like that? Just comment down below and let me know what you think. So I just want to give a huge shout out to the Stars for hiring me again for this upcoming season. I definitely do not take this job lightly. I take it as serious as possible, and I just, always do whatever I can to be ready and present for the NHL team whenever they call. It's a huge honor and a privilege to be able to do this, and I'm very happy to be able to work with them for another season. With all that being said, I will be filming a lot of the away warm-ups, so please make sure you subscribe to the channel to check out when I upload those videos. I'm going to be releasing all the videos in order that I go to the games. So the very first one coming up here is going to be against the Minnesota Wild. So please make sure you stay tuned and watch that video, and then you get ready to watch all the upcoming warm-up videos. I really appreciate you guys checking out the channel. My name is Chris Dudo, and I'm the Goalie Gear Snob, and thanks for watching. If you'd like to learn more about what NHL goalies used last season, click that video right there. And if you would like to watch NHL preseason warm-ups, click that little playlist right there.